about it. Go ahead and say something, motherfucker. I was fat too. And it was hard as fuck every fucking day to get up. I know what it feels like. When you roll your fat ass out of bed and all you want is some fucking damn cinnamon buns and shit.
Some fucking damn cinnamon buns and shit. Chocolate milkshake.
I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. But I can't want it more than you.
I can't want it more than you.
And so many people just want it the easy way.
Who wants
sorry,
it?
Man. It's not. So what they start to do is they build this narrative. It's okay. When the narrative should be.
Who wants it more than you? So, yeah, that's David Goggins. That's Akira the Dawn. Akira is a motherfucking masterpiece, a maestro of the musical milieu. I like him a lot. He's a channeler of inspiration. An inspirational guy himself. I bet if I sat down and talked to him, I bet I would be duly inspired. When I watch his live stuff, it's always inspirational. So I definitely recommend checking him out. Check him out, Akira the Dawn. Look him up on YouTube, look him up on Spotify. Join meaningwave.com. I think it's like $10 a month. You can get access to all of his Bandcamp, past albums, singles, so on and so forth, etc. We're talking about unacceptable things that we do to ourselves today. We're gonna look at this. You can't see my face anymore, but I can see yours. I never actually can see yours, so that's kind of a joke, but you can always see mine, usually. John C. Maxwell, High Road Leadership. Back to the fantastic book here by John C. Maxwell that we've covered a couple of times in some of the earlier episodes of the Don't Hold Your Breath podcast. Embrace the idea of living between success and failure. Just as a pre-ramble, a couple of episodes ago, maybe the last episode that I filmed, I was talking about being forgiving with yourself. Sometimes you fall a little bit short, but you can't compare yourself to, I can't compare myself to David Goggins. Well, you can compare yourself to David Goggins. And so Paradox, which was another one of the last couple of episodes here, this is kind of I think where it gets cool because you're with me on this growth path. And so I'm going through some changes right now, like career wise, it's hard to get into a groove. I'm consulting. I'm not working like a 9-to-5 type of gig or like a Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 10 kind of standard restaurant gig or whatever. The thing is, that's my current excuse. That's what's currently making it more difficult for me to stick to a consistent pattern of behavior. At least that's what I tell myself. The real thing is it's just discipline. So I'm just lacking in discipline. I'm still building discipline. The key there being I'm still building discipline and still moving in the right direction. So embrace the idea of living between success and failure, right? With all that ramble that I just preambled, that is pertinent to embracing the idea of living between success and failure. Maxwell says here, as leaders, we get in trouble if we internally label ourselves as a success or a failure. If we define ourselves as successful, we may go into denial when we're leading or performing poorly. We may also try to cover up our mistakes because we don't want anyone to see evidence that contradicts our successful image. Defining ourselves as failures is equally problematic because people who see themselves as failures are defeated before they even make the attempt to accomplish anything. So what's the solution? Live between success and failure. Here's how I visualize it. My life is like a road marked with lines at its edges. As I travel the road of leadership, the line on my right is success. When I'm near that line, everything seems to be going well. I'm driving in the right lane. Maybe if you're British, you reverse this. I'm winning and I feel successful. The line to my left is failure. When I'm close to that line, nothing seems to go right. I feel like I'm living Murphy's Law, where anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and at the worst possible time. As I live my days, occasionally I'm moving along one of those lines because of what I do and who I am. On those days, I may feel one of the following ways. The line of failure. I feel my weakness. It depresses me. I want no one to see. I wish this never happened, or I wish this happened never. It's me at my worst. And then the line of success, I feel my strength. It impresses me. I want everyone to see. I wish this were forever. It's me at my best. And so those are the extreme lines to the left and right, or right and left. While we all have times of success or failure, we usually live somewhere in the middle of the road. Those days when we're in the middle of the road, walking, working, and leading are good days, but imperfect days, and they define us. Not our best days and not our worst. We need to be honest with ourselves and others about this, because as my friend Craig Groeschel, the founder and leader of Life.Curch, says, people would rather follow a leader who is always real than one who is always right. I really like that. Authenticity is about living an open life between the lines. Being your real self between the lines is empowering. It frees you up to be who you really are, to authentically connect with people, and to lead them with integrity. I like the way Jamie Kern Lima expresses this. When you hide important parts of who you are, you can't ever have authentic relationships, because that other person is loving someone who isn't exactly you. We hesitate. What if they won't love us as they truly are? Then we have to ask ourselves, what's worse, losing that person or losing the chance for true, authentic love the rest of our lives? We were born with the need of human connection. So if you've been scared to show up fully and authentically as the real, true you, then you're robbing yourself of that real human connection. Jamie wrote this while describing her closest friends, but the idea applies not only to friends and family, but also to the people we work with and lead. Wouldn't you like to have unguarded, authentic relationships with people to help you live and lead better? I know I do. Yes, John Maxwell, I definitely agree. I would like to have unguarded, authentic relationships with people in order to help me to live and lead better. It actually helps the leader and the follower, or whatever. Like it helps the leader, and it helps the team. It strengthens everybody in the equation, because they get to see what to do and what not to do. It actually leads by example to allow them to be authentic as well, so they can, continue to spread. Like we use that rule of 7. Thank you, Kevin Vo, if you're ever watching this podcast, for introducing me to the rule of 7. I'm still using that. Leader picks 2 students, and each one of those students picks 2 students. And if you have that triangle in the establishment, then growth starts to germinate and culminate throughout the entire thing. But if you don't have authenticity in your leadership, and if you can't admit, when you're having a bad day, or when you make a mistake, or when you fall off the path, or you're having trouble disciplining yourself, or any of that kind of stuff, everybody's probably been around that person who's just like so perfect, and they never do anything wrong. You never see them do anything wrong. So the perception becomes that there's this world out there that's just unattainable. And when you make a comparison, it's natural to compare ourselves with other people, especially leaders that we're looking up to. It's just, it can be really deafening, or really disabling to your own capacity for growth. So that's what I'm talking about today. Line of failure, the line of success, embracing the idea of living between success and failure. And I'm going to say it one more time here. This quote, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Craig Groeschel says, people would rather follow a leader who is always real than one who is always right. Carrie Pauley, I'm looking at you. I mean, this is something that Carrie does naturally. He's humble. He's willing to admit when he makes mistakes. He's open about it. He's not self-deprecating, but he's, able to recognize. And so there's a balance in between that too. He's not sitting there, saying, oh, I'm the worst, I'm so stupid. But he can laugh at himself at the same time and say, that was a dumb mistake. I can't believe I did that. It's a very important characteristic. It definitely applies to the accountability chart I have behind me that's full of holes that I'm not even going to read over. I am doing a lot of the stuff on there. I am also not doing a lot of the stuff on there. The most important takeaway that I've gotten from looking at like the last 2 weeks on there is that I haven't really worked out hardly at all in the last 2 weeks. And my feel good number that's on there from 1 to 10, like if I'm, feeling depressed or if I'm feeling elated, from 1 being depressed and 10 being elated, I have a couple of like 2s, 3s, and 4s. I have a 1 on one of those days because I just felt like shit when I got up out of bed. I didn't even want to get up out of bed. And I think one of those days I didn't. I just stayed in bed till like 9 or 10 in the morning, doom scrolling and feeling sorry for myself. So I have those days too. It's already in the past. I'm not going to dwell on it, but I got to push through it and go forward from that. So the way to push forward and go forward from that is to live in between success and failure every day and be able to ride that balance, understanding that we're not going to be, I mean, David Goggins is a really extreme guy, and I really admire his ability to live in that extreme as much as he can, but I'd be willing to bet that he has bad days too. I mean, he's going to have days that he's up or down. And maybe his down is like way beyond my up because he's been practicing for it for so long. And we do have to live with the reality that there's an age limit. I'm 47. So if I worked every day for the rest of my life and got to 77 and did it, so I did it for 30 years and I was every single day hitting it hard, then I might approach to where the level where he's at, but I'm probably not, because I'm going to be already that many, years of human physical bodily health behind that. So take advantage while you're young. The sooner you can start all this, the better. If you're able to actually absorb some of this information and make a change in a younger time than a later time. I did it when it was later. I don't regret what I did when I was younger, but I also regret what I did when I was younger, because like I wouldn't change it, but I do look back and I'm like, fuck man, I could have done a lot better. Knowing what I know now, all that I want to do is be able to share that with a younger generation and be able for y'all to step up and just get ahead of it before it gets ahead of you. Checking in for the week. It is a spicier kind of week because we're doing a menu rollout, and so I'm going to be pretty busy with that, but I'm going to do my best to stick to my commitment to you guys that are watching and to myself. God's always watching, so commitment to God that this is supposed to be a 3 to 4 times a week publication, and so I'm going to do my best to stick to that. Cheers. Don't hold your breath. Don't enjoy the night. What you should do is just fucking work harder. That's what they say.
Akira. I was fat, so I talk about it. Go ahead and say something, motherfucker. I was fat too. And it was hard as fuck every fucking day to get up. I know what it feels like. When you roll your fat ass out of bed and all you want is some fucking damn cinnamon buns and shit and fucking chocolate milkshake. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. But I can't want it more than you. And so many people just want it the easy way. I'm sorry, man. It's not. So what they start to do is they build this narrative of it's okay. When the narrative should be, you need to fucking work harder. You need to fucking discipline your mind better. We need to help people more than just saying it's okay. It's okay that you're not fucking willing to fucking help yourself out. That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Even though it's your life, if that's acceptable, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Even though it's your life, that's unacceptable. Than just saying it's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's unacceptable. And there's a lot of people in this world, me included, that if I accepted that, I wouldn't be anywhere. So yeah, A lot of people just fucking, they start creating a narrative about themselves that make it okay. The ultimate get out of jail free card. And now the world is set up to have so many get out of jail free cards. Everything is okay. And you can't say a motherfucking thing about it. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Even though it's your life, if that's acceptable, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Even though it's your life, that's unacceptable. Then just saying it's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Even though it's your life, that's unacceptable. Then just saying it's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's unacceptable.